For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Jeremiah 29:11. Dear Lord, thank you for the gift of this moment. I know that every experience happens for my greater good and that of the world. I have faith that you place me where you can develop my life. Please help me to keep my mind focused on your plan, to know what truly matters. With you by my side, I know that all is right. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
After about 8 months of chemotherapy, I did 39 sessions of chemotherapy, 8-hour sessions. And my body was down to 120 pounds. I was unable to eat, was just wasting away. After my 39th session, they scheduled surgery and they removed all the chemo infiltrated areas, anything that had been killed by that chemotherapy. They removed all that tissue. And 3 months after that surgery, I found out, September 11, 2012, that cancer was out of my body and I was officially in remission. And that really set up where I am today. Obviously, I say this in a delicate way, and it sounds odd, but I always tell people getting cancer was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because it put things into perspective.
On this episode of Relentless Hope, Pastor Billy Heather shares how facing death changed his perspective on what really matters in life, and how he learned that sometimes the most difficult seasons produce the greatest things in our lives. After turning to drugs and rave parties to escape his difficult childhood, Pastor Billy was diagnosed with stage 4 testicular cancer at just 21 years old. Doctors told Pastor Billy that if he would have come to them a few years earlier, they would have been able to save him. Pastor Billy shares how he chose to get right with God after facing his death sentence, and how as Pastor Billy began chemotherapy treatments, he also began his journey to and with Jesus. Pastor Billy teaches us that the Bible is not just something we put on our resume, and scripture passages aren't just something we post on social media timelines. The Bible is a rock that we hold on to when we are in the darkest seasons of our lives. We hear how Jesus met Pastor Billy in his darkest, most hopeless moments. Pastor Billy shares how he learned that Jesus never wants us to escape reality. Instead, Jesus comes to be with us so we can conquer reality. Pastor Billy teaches us that when we're in the middle of something, sometimes we can't understand why life can be so hard. It's only after God brings us out of these difficult seasons that we see life more clearly. As Pastor Billy explains, getting cancer turned out to be the greatest experience because it put things into perspective for him. Through his cancer season, God gave Pastor Billy a better perspective on what it means to be a son, a brother, and a human being. And it's not about what God saves us from that matters, it's what God saves us for. We hear how after beating cancer, Pastor Billy became the youth and young adult pastor at his church, and how in 3 years, he grew it from about 30 students to hundreds. Pastor Billy shares, when he was going through his cancer season, he never saw what God had intended for his life. He shows us that the most difficult moments of our lives can also produce something that sets us up for what God has in mind. God doesn't do things to us. That isn't his nature. But he allows things to happen that gets us in the right place, to get our minds focused and our hearts back to what really matters. And when God puts us somewhere, he has a plan to develop our lives. And with that, I give you today's takeaway for the day by Betty Smith. Look at everything as though you are seeing it either for the first or last time. Then your time on earth will be filled with glory. All right, thank you for listening to pray.com's Relentless Hope, the daily podcast. I'm your host, Max Bard, and every week I'm committed to giving you quick sound bites from this week's episode of Relentless Hope with Steve Gatena. If you liked this episode of Relentless Hope. Be an inspiration to those around you by sharing this episode with someone you love. You never know the difference you can make in someone's life by sharing Relentless Hope during a tough time. As we sign off, I want you to remember, give hope a voice.